Hi there, Winnebago owners. Today in your 2015 Winnebago Vista, we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install SnapPad RV Jack Pads. And this is what our SnapPads look like when they're installed. We currently got them lowered down, but not all the way on the ground, so that way we can rotate it and show you the pad. You can see here that the pad snaps right around your foot. And we're using the 9-inch round edition here, so it's got a 9-inch round diameter hole in the middle to go over the 9-inch feet that's on our system. The main purpose of our snap pads is to help protect our feet and give us a more stable surface to level our motorhome with. This also works not just on motorhomes, but if you've got like a larger fifth wheel or gooseneck trailer that has landing gear like this, leveling system, then you can use these on there as well. You just want to make sure you measure your appropriate foot size to make sure you get the appropriate pad that'll work with it. You can see here that it does provide increased surface area because our foot is on the inside lip here, so we get a little over about a 1/2 inch of additional meat all the way around our pad. So where we had a 9-inch round foot before, we're probably looking at about a 10, maybe 10.5 inch across this pad. So you do get more surface area. It also helps extend the foot down just a little bit further, so you have a little bit more distance. You can lower your arms down, and it's not a huge amount. It's probably only about 1 inch, maybe a little over 1 inch. But it also provides a nice grip surface as well, because the pads here are made of recycled tires. And so once it hits down here on the surface, unlike a metal pad, which has the potential to slip, this is going to give you a much better grip on the surface that you're going to be leveling yourself out on. What's nice about the snap pads, because there are some similar devices out there, is that these ones stay on your motorhome the whole time. Once you lower your jack down into the pad and it snaps in place, when you raise your jack back up, the pad goes with it. You can see that here, it's supported by it, and it'll stay on there while you're driving down the road. We do have some other ones here at eTrailer competitors where there's like a plastic pad you can put down on the ground to get increased surface area and stuff, and those work really well. But with those, you have to get out of your motorhome, you have to line it up underneath your jack stand. Oftentimes you get a couple of them so you can change the heights a little bit to adjust it. So that's one of the benefits you get from those, is you have the ability to stack them to change your heights. But with this one here, we don't even really need to get out. We know we've got a nice soft surface here on the bottom of our foot. So you can see here with this pad, if you do have any rocks below it, it's able to lower right down on it and mold right around it and give you a good grip without damaging your foot pad. One of the things that I like about the SnapPad design, since it snaps on here all the time, is that it does have a drain hole in the bottom to remove moisture, and we'll lift that up to give you a shot of that. But I like that it does have a way to prevent the foot from rusting out, because when you lower your normal feet down, it's sitting on the mud and it's holding in all that moisture and things when it rains, and it's going to get onto your foot, and eventually your foot is going to corrode from being down on that surface. Putting it onto the pad here is going to keep it up out of that moisture and wet ground, and if it does get wet, that moisture is able to drain out that hole into the bottom. And lastly, what I like about the snap pads, if you happen to do any of the service on your motorhome yourself, you like to kind of get in there and look it over and things like that, there are points where you might want to use your landing gear to lift it up and place some stands underneath of it to do certain types of service or inspections. And if you lower this down in your driveway, and you got a concrete driveway, if there's any little pebbles or things like that, dirt and debris that's on the driveway, and your leg goes down, it's going to crush that into your concrete driveway and potentially crack or damage your driveway. With the snap pads here, it gives it a much softer surface to allow it to go down on the driveway without damaging the surface. So we've now brought our jacks up, and I just wanted to show you guys, so this is the other option we were talking about. You can see how they're stackable, so you can make that level adjustment as necessary. These ones are going to be a plastic. These are from UltraFab. You can get these here at eTrailer, and these do work great. I like these for when you're doing service on a motorhome and you need to maybe like hang the suspension or something. You can use the leveling jacks to get it there and then place some jack stands under it. But oftentimes the jacks aren't enough by themselves to get the wheels off the ground, but if you need to, you can stack some of those up to do so. So they do have a nice function, but with these, if you were going to go with this over like a snap pad option, you could see where every time you want to use them to lower your pads down, you got to get out here, you got to line it up, go to the next one, line it up, and you got 4 of them, potentially even 6 on some systems. So it's a little more time consuming. You also have to get these out, and then when you go to leave, after you retract your jacks, you got to remember to pick these back up. So that's kind of why I like the SnapPad option. It's just always there for you. You get to your campsite, save some time, don't have to worry about getting these out. Just lower them down. When you're ready to go, you raise them up. You have nothing that you can forget behind, just take off. We'll begin our installation here. We've got our SnapPad. The first thing you'll want to do is to actually check the foot on your motorhome. Make sure you measure it and get the appropriate SnapPad that is for the right diameter and the right shape for your feet. At that point, once you've just determined the appropriate size, these simply just push into place. You can see it's got a lip on there that holds it in. It's a very sturdy rubber. I barely have any flex to it, so it's definitely a durable material. But since it doesn't have a whole lot of flex, it is pretty difficult to push these in place onto the feet of your landing gear there. So while you can just push it in there, we got some soap here to help make things easier. We're going to try a different method to see if we can't get these installed without having to work so hard. So rather than pushing them in place, we're still going to lubricate it, which I recommend regardless of how you're going to install it. Just some soapy water. With an assistant, I went ahead and I lowered down my landing gear, but I'm doing it manually. I only lowered it down enough to where it was just right at about the top of the pad here. So I just had an assistant just kind of keep an eye on it, give me a little shout once the foot was near the pad. So we can easily now slide our pad under it and line it up this way since we've got it down. So we're just sliding it in there, lining it up, just checking it all the way around, making sure it all looks good. That all looks pretty good there. So we're gonna do this for each of our feet, get it lined up, and I'm gonna spray the foot as well, keep everything nice and lubricated so it can all slide together. And then we're gonna hop inside and we're just gonna operate our landing gear downward to snap them in place. I'm gonna do the fronts separate from the rear. So we'll do the fronts first and then we'll do the rear. Yeah, we're gonna do it just like this. After the front, we went ahead and lowered down the back. Now we're going to retract them and just check for proper fitment. All right, so now that we've got our pads back up, we're going to inspect it to make sure that the lip is in all the way around. So we went and checked the back, and I'm spinning it around here, and we see the lip's good here, 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 but right here at this one little point, this little side didn't quite go all the way in. So we can go ahead and pop this in the rest of the way. I'm going to try and use my screwdriver a little bit here to pop it out around the outside and then see if we can't get it to hop right up on top of there. You get these little grooves in the side that can be actually pretty useful for being able to fit a tool in there to try to help you get it the last bit of the way, because if you're trying to push them on there, they are quite difficult to just push into place. We're almost there though. There we go, that last little bit. We were able to get it pushed on there. Our lip is up all the way around now. So we're gonna check the other sides the same way, and if we have any ones that we see that it's still like that a little bit, we'll just correct it so that way they're all the way inserted. And that completes our look at SnapPad's Extra Jack Pads on our 2015 Winnebago Vista.